All right. All right. What's up, people? Give you guys a few moments to get up in here, man, and we're going to talk a little bit about this nonsense here, man, that's going on with Antonio Brown, versus JuJu Smith-Schuster. So we're going to get it cracking here in just a moment. Give me just a hot second, guys. You guys know how I do. Give me a second and we will get it rolling. I got to send this link out to a few special people. But then after that, we'll get it cracking, man. And I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Give me a hot second, man. We'll get it up and we'll get it going here. Give me a moment. See, some of you guys are already up in here. And for whatever reason, the link is not coming up for me on my side. That's weird. Very strange, very strange. There it is. It's down at the bottom. All right, so give me a second, guys. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to share it out to a few special folks. And then we're going to get it cracking. Well, what's happening to everybody? What's happening? How y'all doing on this nice Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, whatever you want to call it? How y'all doing? Let me send this out to my father-in-law. I was just over at his house. He probably had no idea I was about to do this video. I actually said it, but he didn't pay any attention. He was doing some other things. So we're going to get it cracking here, man, in just a moment. Just a moment. I'll be looking up at you guys here in just a second. All right, so we're ready to go. Let's do the quick roll call really quick, man. Let's share the link out here on Twitter. You guys do that for me as well, man. If you follow me on Twitter, here's the Twitter right there. Whoops. Well, it looks like it's frozen. I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, if you guys are following me on Twitter at SimFBallCritic, make sure you do me a favor. Share that out. Hit the link. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. All of that jazz. But let me stop yapping and get to the action. First and foremost, I'm going to do my quick roll call. I always do that for you guys who are brand new. I do a quick roll call, for everyone who's here early, and then we'll get it cracking. But we definitely want to welcome you to the Steeler Report, the intermediate podcast while we wait for Tuesday's Terrible Towel Tuesday. So anyway, let's get into it, man. I feel the need of speed. What's up? AB84, what's going on? Yag TV, Lance Watson, Treadell Wright, Carlton Carey, Vista Light, Who's Mans, Lawrence Holcomb. Let's see who else. Sabonis 21, Aguilar, my brother Tony, Wayne Wimbush, and let's see, Trill X Ricky, Salvation Sal Gaming, and of course we'll finish it up there with the good brother Kenyon in the building as well. And actually we'll say one last person, Blackbird Blitz. What's up to everybody? Now, before we get started again, let me introduce you guys to what you're seeing here. This is the Steeler Report. A lot of you guys know me for Terrible Towel Tuesday, which we do each and every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where we chop it up about the Steelers, on and off season. During the season, we talk about the upcoming opponent, and then we also do the Terrible Towel post-game after the game to reflect on what happened on the game. The Steeler Report here is just, popping in and out. A real quick podcast in and out anytime we got any information that's happening throughout the week that's important to talk about that we don't really want to wait until Tuesday. So that's what we're going to talk about today, this Antonio Brown fiasco with JuJu. We're going to be in and out. I am accepting phone calls. Let me see if anybody's in the queue. Nope, not yet. For any of you guys who want to call in, the phone number is area code 619-924-0818. If you want to call in, share your business, give your thoughts. I'll give you 2 minutes to get your stuff off, and we move on to the next person. The next thing I have to say, guys, because you guys keep telling me I need to let you know this. For you guys who want to donate, okay, I have 2 additional options now. I know not everybody has a YouTube account. Not everyone feels comfortable clicking the donate button here right in the chat, the little $sign. So in the description, I have a Cash App now. It is $SimFBallCritic, and I also have PayPal, which is randomemails04@yahoo.com. Again, it's all in the description right there, right at the top of the page. If you guys want to donate, feel free to do it one of those ways. I definitely appreciate it if you do. All right, so let's talk about this. Man, here's the thing. For you guys who are uninformed, let me read to you exactly what Antonio Brown said
about JuJu Smith-Schuster. And my question is, why is he still talking about JuJu? Or the Steelers, period. Why hasn't he moved on? Okay? And I'm going to ask you guys that question in a minute. Is it, well, I ask you now, is Antonio Brown being petty? Is he being petty or is he pissed off? Which P is it? It's one of the P's. He's either petty or pissed. And I want to know why. That is the question. Why? Why still? So anyway, let me read to you guys what he said about JuJu Smith-Schuster. Let me find it here. Crazy, man. And I think JuJu killed him with class, the way he responded. But he basically says, Antonio Brown writes, emotion with a colon. Boy fumbled the whole postseason in the biggest game of the year. Everyone went blind to busy making guys famous. Not enough reality these days. By the way, check the list. Let me read that again. And I'm reading it exactly how he wrote it. I know he skipped a few words in there. Grammar could be a little off. Whatever, guys. It's social media. He says, emotion, colon. Boy fumbled the whole postseason in the biggest game of the year. Everyone went blind to busy making guys famous. Not enough reality these days. And then he said, by the way, check the list. So JuJu responded back to him with class, but I'm not going to read the entire response from JuJu Smith-Schuster, but he basically said, in a nutshell, I've done nothing but show love to this guy since I've been in the league. I looked up to him. He, basically he was like a big brother. I've done nothing but show him respect and love. And why are you coming at me like this, etc., etc. He also made it very clear. He said, and I quote, your ego has to be pretty big to basically, take a shot at somebody who's always been in support of you. He's like, how big of an ego do you have to do that? So let me just give you my thoughts, man, and I want to hear what you guys got to say about it. To me, let me take it a different direction really, really quick. It speaks more volumes about the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers had to get Antonio Brown out of the locker room. Okay, everybody definitely needs to take a little bit of blame for what's going on in Pittsburgh. We haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time. Okay, in recent years, we've gotten knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. The first round that we played in, if we go back to the Jacksonville game, you playing a game at home. Come on. You get a bye and you playing a game at home and you lose that, okay? You get destroyed in the AFC Championship game a few years before that in New England. And then last year, even though we had a technically winning season, didn't make the playoffs, okay? So there's been some disruption going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have not performed to everyone's expectations in terms of winning the championship. Okay, that's fair criticism from us, the fans. We felt like we had, the offense to do it. You had the amazing talents in Antonio Brown and also a Le'Veon Bell and when Martavis Bryant. Think about that year, the year when Martavis Bryant was terrorizing. Okay, you had some pieces there. You had an Antonio Brown and a JuJu Smith-Schuster together. And still, we had the talent offensively. Our defense just hasn't been able to close the deal in key situations or get the key stop in key situations to propel us to a championship. Okay? But there's a lot of people that you can point the finger to. And I'm going to be real brief with this because I know we've discussed this, but I just want to get to my point. Of course, you got to look at the head man. A lot of us, respect and honor Tomlin for what he does, and some of you guys don't like him. It is what it is. It's not about if you hate or like Mike Tomlin. Whether you do or don't, of course, you got to give him some of the blame. I mean, he's the head coach. He's the guy at the top. He's the boss for the most part. He's the boss of the locker room for the most part. He has to take some blame. Then you definitely got to take a look at Kevin Colbert. If you go a step above, and I'm not going to say above per se Mike Tomlin, but in the hierarchy, he technically is because he's the general manager. You got to look at him in the draft picks and acquiring certain talent, etc., etc. Okay, you got to even look at Art Rooney and as far as how much money he's allowing Kevin Colbert to spend on free agents. You got to look at all of that. But then you get down to the nitty gritty. You look at the players. You got to look at Ben Roethlisberger. We all know Roethlisberger is not the best. We don't think he's the best leader. Well, at least we don't, from the naked eye. We don't know what goes on in the locker room. You hear a lot of players speak otherwise of Ben Roethlisberger. But what we all would say is, hey, on an outside looking in, he has his passive aggressiveness, and there's certain things that he does I wish he wouldn't. But on the field, he performs. You know, he needs to cut down those interceptions, of course. But on the field, he's still somebody I think we can win with. All right, but anyway, we talk about all these guys, okay? You talk about Ben. You talk about Le'Veon Bell. You talk about Antonio Brown. Everybody has to take a piece of the reason why the Steelers haven't been as successful as we think they should have been. But here's the catch. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Are we overlooking how much influence or how much negativity certain players have brought to the locker room? Ryan Clark been told us this. I even saw him tweet today saying, I've been telling y'all now, everybody's starting to see it. I've been telling you about this guy. Maybe I could take a little bit of blame away from Roethlisberger. No, he's probably not the best leader. Y'all have heard me talk about that before. You know, he's the type of guy, if you like doing the things that he likes to do and the way he likes to do it, he's probably cool with you. But if he can't really vibe with the way you living, or like my brother Tony said when he came on last week, you know, it's a big age gap with some of these guys. Maybe he's not lending his hand as much to you. Maybe he's not as close to you. But when you look at the disruption that Antonio Brown has caused, and I'm talking about even before all of this blatant stuff, just think about the things we've heard over the years that the team has had to compensate for. And now look at how he's acting even post-Steelers. I take a little bit of blame back from some of these guys. Still blame them, but I think we got to take time and stop and say, man, listen, Tomlin has been dealing with a lot in that locker room. A lot of personalities. Think about everything that we feel about Antonio Brown. We feel about Le'Veon Bell. I'm talking about even in them leaving. How we feel about Ben Roethlisberger. And you got a head coach that's got to deal with all of that. Is he completely innocent? Of course not. But it's a lot to have to deal with. Now, the question again is, why is Antonio Brown talking about JuJu now? Why? I think, guys, this validates everything that we said. Let's see if anybody's in the queue. We got 2 calls in the queue. I'm going to come to you guys in just a second. I think this validates everything that we have said. Maybe Antonio Brown actually was a bit jealous. And I'm not going to say jealous like he's jealous of a younger guy. I'm talking about the attention that JuJu was getting. The targets that JuJu was getting. The accolades that JuJu was setting. Ben Roethlisberger, which he shouldn't have said, just coming out and saying how much he wish he would have thrown to JuJu 4 times in a row, talking about the Denver game. Roethlisberger saying that AB needs to run a flatter route, which I don't think he should have said that publicly either. But I think all of that is giving AB some resentment towards JuJu. But I think it's corny that he's treating it like this. I think it's very corny that he's carrying it like that. This is a young guy that looked up to you, man. Like, come on, man. None of us know JuJu personally. Maybe some of you guys watching might do. But we can all tell that this dude is beloved amongst the city. He's a good kid, man. You know, you watch his little, he just watches other stuff, his little YouTube stuff and how he walks around the city. This dude is a good guy. You know, he seems to come from a good background, well-mannered, well-spoken and things like that. Respectful. A good guy. Like, why you shading? Why are you trying to come at JuJu for that? Yeah, he fumbled in the Saints game, but listen, it happens. But look at the year the man had. But my biggest concern is, why now? Why? Go do your thing in Oakland. I think he's a little bitter. If you ask me, I think AB is a little bitter, and I don't know why. I just think it's corny, man. And again, like I said, if you look at the exchange between him and JuJu, you see who handled it more maturely. Isn't that funny? The 22-year-old, or is he 22 already? He might still be 21. I think he's 22 now. I don't know, man. I just thought it was crazy, and I wanted to see what you guys had to say about it, man. So let's chop it up for a little while. Again, we're not going to stay on too long tonight. We got 3 calls in the queue, so we're going to go ahead and grab these calls, get them knocked out. Area code 443 coming to you first. And remember, guys, with the phone calls, remember, if you're listening to me on a computer or a device, please mute the device, mute the computer, and just listen via phone so there's no delay in what you're hearing from me and there's no double audio in the background. All right, so we're going to come to you first, 443 again. Give you guys about 2 minutes to say what you have to say, and then we'll move on. See, we have another call in the queue already, so let's go ahead and grab 443. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Tim, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
I just think it's funny how this trade happened however many months ago, too, and Antonio Brown still feels the need to talk about when JuJu is living his life. JuJu had every opportunity to go at AB during that whole when he was tweeting and all that stuff. When JuJu was interviewed at the Pro Bowl, and he said that's a great guy and I want him back and he's one of the best receivers and all this stuff. But I feel like if roles were reversed, Antonio Brown would have probably said something about JuJu. And I don't think Big Ben did any service to the whole situation by getting on the radio show saying you should have threw the JuJu however many times he said. I don't think that helped anything.
Yeah.
I think that just fueled the fire.
That was dumb.
The base of I think the base of this whole Antonio Brown thing was money, just like it was with Le'Veon Bell. I think Big Ben has been a scapegoat throughout this whole thing. I don't think it's right that like the media is like going after Ben and everything when nobody's questioning the leadership from the guys that want these huge contracts. People are only questioning the leadership of Big Ben when I think it's just a game that Antonio Brown has played in the media for.
Yeah, I think so too, man, and I definitely appreciate your call, man. Perfect timing right there. I appreciate that, and I'm going to respond to it real quick before I roll to 417. You're right. You know, I think Ben is becoming a scapegoat. And shout outs to, I didn't see if he was in the chat, Austin Pasquale, if you're in here, man. Guys, check out that phenomenal post and picture that he created, you know, basically saying the redemption story. He's got Roethlisberger, you know, he's got a little graphic. Very nice stuff, man. Go take a look at that. I want to give him a shout out. But yeah, I think he is becoming a scapegoat a little bit. Again, we all know that Ben is not the best, I guess, verbal leader per se. At least we don't see it out front. We see more of his passive aggressiveness in the public and more of his calling out. But again, I'm not in the locker room. I don't think he's a horrible leader. I just don't like some of that stuff. But at the same time, I definitely feel like Roethlisberger is taking too much of a hit during this situation. And, you know, he's handling it the way he's supposed to. We'll see how he handles it once he starts, you know, getting to, you know, closer to the media and things and OTAs and things like that. We'll see. But yeah, man, I think AB, it was a money play. It worked for him. Congratulations on playing the system. So why are you still worrying about what's going on in Pittsburgh? I don't understand that. Area code 417. You are live. What you got for us tonight? 417, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. Well, yeah. So I honestly believe that AB, I think the reason why that he wanted out so bad is because he wanted to leverage no matter what. And he saw that JuJu, when he was getting collaborated with JuJu in the Pizza Hut commercials, and I'm pretty sure that JuJu was going to be probably like the SNF and on SNF promos. I think that the thing that Antonio Brown wants, since he's very insecure, he wants to have that solidification of self-gratitude. And then because with all the promotions, you know, Big Ben's not into that. So he was able to get all the spotlight and all the promotion for the Steelers. When JuJu came in, and with his vibrant personality, he kind of disturbed that. So because of that, I kind of felt that this contention between the two right off the bat. And I honestly believe it's kind of petty too, because, and yes, that Ben's not the greatest leader, but so far after this whole entire fiasco, I mean, you're seeing reports that he's going to drop his radio show. You're seeing reports that he's going to, that he talked to Switzer. The Switzer was just recently on Fox Sports on the Herd with Coward.
Yeah, I saw that. That was good. I saw that. Mm-hmm.
And because of this, Switzer was saying that Ben put him in the right place because Switzer was just out of sorts because he had traded so much. So I think that maybe on the surface, Ben, he doesn't necessarily take about the actions of what he says, but he always, so far, what he's doing this offseason, he's rectifying that. So because of that, I think that AB's just petty, and more so, he was just angry at JuJu more than anything than was just a relationship with Ben. So that's my takeaway. So thank you for having me on, Sim.
Oh, no question, man. Thank you for calling, man. Appreciate it. You guys are doing great helping me with the timing tonight. Round of applause for the first 2 callers. Oh. Well, the round of applause is not working, man. For whatever reason, my external hard drive is acting funny, man. So I'm gonna have to dump some of these sounds onto my computer instead of using the hard drive, and then things will work. Let's see if it'll work this time. Probably not. No, not working. So I'll fix that while the next caller is talking. But let me give a manual round of applause to the callers, keeping me up to speed with the time. We're doing great with the time of the calls. And also, I want to give a shout out, man. I wanted to give a round of applause to my man Sloth Legacy, who's in here donating once again. You guys know he dropped the big donations last show, so thank you for that. And again, let me just say to you guys ask, so I have to say, if you want to donate, you can do like he did here. He's doing it via YouTube. It's right there in the chat. You click the $. If you don't prefer that method, if you look in the description, I have a Cash App address, which is $SimFBallCritic, and I also have a PayPal, which is randomemails04@yahoo.com. So whatever means is better for you. And again, I'm not asking you to do it, but if you want to donate, those are your 3 options. So let's get the next caller in here, man. Area code 609. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
Yo, what's going on? I'm good.
Man, just thinking about it, man, I'm happy that Antonio Brown's out of Pittsburgh, man. Because now, if you think about it, now we can just move on, start somewhere fresh and stuff like that. Because thinking about it, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell left. Now we have James Conner and JuJu Smith-Schuster. Even though they're not as explosive as, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, they're slightly similar and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So, I feel as though now, we have a young, JuJu Smith-Schuster, a young James Conner, and even though Ben Roethlisberger is getting up there in age and stuff like that, I feel as though, even though the Super Bowl, window is closing, we can still possibly win and stuff like that. We still have an explosive offense and stuff like that. It's just defense and stuff like that, and I made a few moves this offseason and stuff. So I feel as though, we still have a chance. It's just, we really don't know whether JuJu Smith is ready to be a number 1 player or something like that. Because now he's going to be double teamed against, defenses and stuff like that. We have to get a number 2 receiver in the NFL draft and stuff, this upcoming draft. So, yeah, I'm just happy that, Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell out of Pittsburgh and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm saying this as a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I know it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, not seeing Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, this upcoming season and stuff.
Yeah.
Just gotta get that out. Gotta get that drama out of the way.
Yeah, man, I absolutely agree. I definitely thank you for your call. And a good question that you kind of posed there, man. Is JuJu Smith-Schuster a number 1 receiver? And you guys are seeing me look to the right. I'm trying to fix some stuff here on the computer as well as I speak to you guys before I move to the next call. That's a good question. I think JuJu is definitely talented enough. I know Kenyan's going to come in here and say the same thing. He would come in here and say that he would prefer to see JuJu in the slot, as would I. So that's a question. Again, the last game of the season, did that give us a glimpse as to what happens when Antonio Brown's not on the field? Me personally, I would say yay, but not necessarily, because at the end of the day, the way you look at that, it was a divisional opponent. They knew what was on the line. They had a chance to knock us out of the playoffs. We had to adjust in 1 week without Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was there through Wednesday. So maybe that wasn't a real glimpse. We didn't really have I don't think we came in with the best game plan without him. But that's a very, very good question. Is he a number 1? Obviously, Moncrief is going to take the Antonio Brown spot so JuJu can stay in the slot. We're going to need James Washington to step it up as the Z receiver. And maybe if we draft another guy, maybe that guy steps it up. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But great point, great call. Let's check, guys, and see if the round of applause is working again. Give me a second. There it is. It is working, so we got it working. Let's move on. Area code 717, you are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Sim, it's Cameron. So I got how I feel about this situation kind of laid out. Le'Veon Bell comes in, you know, I feel like he's impressionable, and he gets with the wrong people, gets with Garrett Blunt, gets his, you know, suspension. And then we get rid of LeGarrette Blunt because we like Le'Veon. We know we need to get people around him, but he kind of drives towards Antonio because Antonio has personality problems. Kind of knew it in college when I saw this thing where it was like he was like, I'm going in the first round, and he was playing at Central Michigan. And he had talent, but he had problems in college too. And you know, he comes in, he does what he needs to do, and then he gets his money, just like Ryan Clark said. Now, we have problems with Ben. He's old school. He'll call you out, and, you know, people don't really like that. I think the way he does it is wrong, right? Like, publicly. But those personalities were such a clash that we weren't going to win anything with that. I don't think we could have. Their talent was amazing on the field, but the personality started to overpour onto the field. So when I just look at it, it's like it's not a surprise anymore to me of how Antonio Brown acts. I've just been following him for a while now, and it's sad to see because he has so much talent that he doesn't need to be like this to do that. But I'll keep it short this time. I just thought that might have been something that, you know, maybe it was just an idea of how these personalities can't mix, and now we can see what happens when personalities mix. But thanks for the time.
Hey, man, thanks for the call. Great call. Great point. Great point. I mean, you know, it's kind of like what I said, and again, Tony, you know, came in and laid that on us last week. Ben Roethlisberger, what is he now, guys? Y'all check my memory. Has he turned 37 yet? Is he 36, about to be 37, or is he already 37? Let's just say he's 37. Le'Veon Bell's 26, going to turn 27 this year. That's 10 years or so. You know, you could say 11, but not necessarily. It's roughly, you know, 10 and some change. Even him and Antonio Brown, you know, 7 years older than him. That is a big gap. I mean, again, let's think about it, guys, for some of you guys that might be like me. You know, I grew up on the 90s era of hip-hop, right? So I like that type. You know, I like the Pacs, the Biggies, the Jay-Z's, the Nas, and I'm going to give the South some love. You know, your Outcasts of the world and your T.I.'s, you know, Ludacris, you know, UGK, and that's my era. You know, 8-Ball, MJG. I grew up off of that. Mobb Deep. You know, there's plenty of people. So I don't necessarily vibe with today's. I could bop my head to it, but that ain't it. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you that I can't relate with 18-year-old that loves Lil Uzi Vert or whoever he likes. And again, this ain't trashing the Young Bucks. I'm just saying we ain't on the same level. You can't talk to me about the lyrics. You know, you got some of these young guys saying, "Oh, I'm better than Pac." You can't talk to me about, you know, the cadence and the substance of the music because we ain't grow up in the same era. Y'all always know I always got to work in music in the conversation. I'm a music fanatic. But you understand what I'm saying? It's the same difference. Roethlisberger is older than these guys. Let me make sure I had his age right. I know somebody threw it in the chat. Yeah, y'all said he's 37. All right, great. So, yeah, we got 2 more calls in the queue, man. Let me go ahead and get to you guys. Yeah, man, great point. Great. Oh, I wanted to say this, and I probably just messed it up because my timing is so off now. I wanted to make a little joke, and I'll just tell y'all what the joke was, and the punchline is over now. But I was going to say, in regards to the Bell and the Blunt situation, that whole situation just went up in smoke. Blunt, smoke. You see what I did there? Yeah, I know. I'm silly and stupid, man. But anyway, let's go to the next call. Area code 702. You are live. What you got for us?
What's up, Sim?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nothing much. Yeah, I just got off work and I heard about all this stuff with AB. Look, here's the problem that I have with what he said, right? JuJu made one mistake that game. If it weren't for JuJu, we wouldn't have come back and beat the Jaguars. That's one. Two, if AB didn't start off so slow, we probably would have beat Cleveland in Cleveland, instead of tied them. You know what I mean? We could have been more competitive against Kansas City. We might have beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And because AB had a lot of touchdowns, but he did not have as good of a season as he usually has. He was like Le'Veon Bell was 2 years ago. He started off slow and then built up. So I don't really think it's fair for him to call out JuJu when JuJu's the reason we were even in a position to be in the playoffs in the first place. That 97-yard touchdown against the Broncos, if that doesn't happen, we're not even in a chance to win that game.
Shoot, the Lions game too.
Game against. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Raiders game this year. Remember that hook and ladder? That you think AB had nothing to do with that.
Oh man,
that hook and ladder play. We don't win. We don't. Yeah, and then Boswell slipped. We're not even in that game. The freaking Ravens game in Baltimore, where JuJu made that catch that Josh Dobbs threw. Where was AB for that game? You know what I mean? So yeah, AB's tripping, man. He's just. I really think he knows that he's like a boyfriend that got dumped. He knows that he's on a worse team now with a worse quarterback, with a worse O-line, and in my opinion, a worse coach. And he knows that he's not going to be as well as he was with Pittsburgh. So he's doing whatever he can to be petty and to try to hurt Pittsburgh's feelings for now, because he knows once that season starts and he's 5-11, while we're 11-6, he's going to look real dumb. You know what I mean? So honestly, let him win now. He can win the offseason. That's fine. But when he wins 4 or 5 games in a regular season, then I'm sure he'll start shutting up.
Mean call. I love it, man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate the call, and I like the analogy, man. It's funny when I do my other show, when I do the gaming podcast with my boy Smitty, I always use the female male analogy. So I like that analogy you said. He's like the dump boyfriend. Y'all know how that feels. We all have done this in our past. Some of you guys are a little young. Maybe y'all haven't got to this point yet, but we have all, and my brother Tony, I'm sure he's going to agree with this. We all been out there when we was young and running around and trying to be so-called players and all of that, and you had a nice girl, and then you see something on this side, you just think, ooh, the grass is green over there. You mess around, go mess with her, then you just find yourself looking back like, man, why did I do this? I should have stayed over there. We've been there. I'm a married man now, and I'm happy where I'm at now. But I'm talking about years before, I've been stupid like that. So that was a great analogy. But let's move on to the next caller, man. Last call looks like so far for tonight. And then I'm going to talk about this Seals situation. I see you guys are chopping it up in the chat, so I want to dive in on that a little bit before we go. Area code 267. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Evening, Sim. Backstory to the whole post thing on AB. I was actually sitting in the car waiting for church to start, so I figured, okay, I'm gonna get on my cell phone, I'm gonna look to see if any other mock drafts, any Steel Curtain podcast came out or anything like that, and that's the first thing that popped up, and it was immediate WTF.
Yeah.
Just
got you cussing outside the church, man.
Yeah. He's not even on the team anymore.
Right.
Why? What did JuJu put on social media to spark that? Nobody did or said anything to this man to bring. JuJu didn't do nothing wrong, but you know what? It just should prove a point to all of us. That. Notice how this whole all-season thing has come and gone, and the only people talking about it are the people that are no longer there. So I think that should actually give us all kind of like a closed door to this scenario. Yeah, I really think that they probably got rid of what they needed to out of the locker room. Maybe it really is addition by subtraction. But on JuJu, and I'll be real quick, on JuJu having a better season or not a better season than AB, I don't think it really matters. I think this actually might be a better opportunity and truly is something for Ben to prove, because we all saw how many times over the last 2 or 3 years Ben's thrown interceptions or forced the ball to AB.
Yeah.
We truly didn't know if that was Ben or AB now we'll find out, was this really being forced to AB, or was this Ben just being, the gunslinger that he calls himself? But if JuJu has, a 99 catch, 1,100 yard season, but Ben still throws for 4,500 plus, I think that's still a good season. That's a great season in my opinion. I mean, if that gets us to the playoffs, possibly a Super Bowl, that's a winning formula. AB might have a 1,600 yard best season of his life, but I guarantee you he's not going to the Super Bowl this year. So let's look at the positives and maybe what they're planning on doing without an AB there. Thanks, Tim.
Oh, man, thank you, man. And it sounds like I hear a little one in the background, so I always love hearing that, man. Fatherhood is amazing. So shout outs to you, man. Have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, it's funny to answer your question. I'm going off of the guys in the chat here. I love you guys in the chat because y'all be all over top of it. They said they believe somebody tweeted either at AB or they basically said JuJu won, MVP 2019, and that was AB's response. So it's funny to see how these dudes, man, social media, social media gonna be the death of some people, I tell you, and I don't mean that literally. I'm just saying, facetiously, like, it pulled you in. The fans can get right at you now, and you gotta be a bigger man than that. Why are you worrying about it? Even if a fan said that, let that roll off of your back. Like, why did that bother you so much? Crazy. But yeah, man, looks like we got another call, man. This will probably be the last call of the night. Didn't want to be on too late tonight or too long tonight. Actually, we got two more, so we'll stop at these two. We'll take 412. We'll take 304. Again, if you're listening to this and you want to call in, I think we're going to hold tight on just those two calls. I'm going to read a little few of the chats and then I'm going to get out of here. But we'll be back on Tuesday for Terrible Tile Tuesday. So let's go to area code 412. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, Slim. It's Smitty from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, nothing much. I honestly just woke up and seen your notification saying that AB was taking shots at JuJu. So I just jumped on Twitter, caught what he said, and I just now heard that he responded to somebody. But listen, Antonio Brown, I don't know. First, I know you were talking about hip-hop, how he was the old school hip-hop. What's going on in the water in South Florida with Kodak Black and people from South Florida? I know Florida is crazy, but man,
mad disrespectful,
I just don't understand
man.
What's up with these dudes?
That's the most disrespectful thing ever you could do to somebody in that situation.
Yeah, for real.
Terrible.
But I just want to go, like, AB really still wants to be a Steeler. He still really wants to be a Steeler because nobody's talking about him. Fans going to talk no matter what, but he still wants to be here deep down in his heart because he will go out of the blue like somebody that was scorning a relationship that they're still trying to get over and talk about the person that they left, thinking that he's supposed to have a better life, better deal, and be in a better situation. If he can't handle a 9-6-1 season, what happens when he goes 4-12 or 3 forever? This dude has to learn how to control his emotions. He's the best wide receiver in the league, hands down. I'm sorry about Julio, OBJ. He's the most consistent, but he's the most childlike. Because I've never seen OBJ really throw any of his teammates under the bus like that. He may be emotional, but he does it to himself. He may say things about Eli, but he never said he's the reason or that the locker room is a problem or anything. Ben may have his problems, but after a while, there was only 3 people in that locker room getting away with stuff, really.
Yeah.
Everybody else was fine, but I just think that this whole AD thing is getting really overblown. What's your remarks on that?
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you calling Smitty live from Pittsburgh. I always love when guys from Pittsburgh call. I don't live in Pittsburgh. I live in Pennsylvania. I've been to a bunch of games at Heinz Field, and I felt that energy of the city. It's amazing. Let me say that if you guys have never been to Heinz Field and you're able to do so, if you live in Pennsylvania, surrounding areas, Maryland, D.C., anywhere close enough where you can drive there, you have to experience a game at Heinz Field, and not just a game there. The energy of the city. Just, go eat. Go out to eat. Hang out a day. It's It's amazing. You know, it's amazing. You really feel what Steeler culture is all about. But yeah, my thoughts on that, man, is you might be right about that. You know, you might very well still want to be a Steeler, man. You know, I don't see any other reason why say any of this. I mean, I get it. This is the age of social media, and I know, listen, we've all been victims of it. You want to lash out. You guys know, you know, from you guys that know me for the gaming stuff, you know, me being an EA game changer and, you know, getting in good with the developers of Madden and kind of learning the ins and outs and why the game is bad in certain areas, et cetera, et cetera. And I get it all the time with people saying, oh, you're an EA smoocher, and da-da-da-da-da, just because I tell the truth. You just have to let it roll off your back, man. You know, for the last couple years, I don't even respond to people on Twitter. It doesn't mean anything. And that would be my advice to Antonio Brown. Like, come on, you bigger than that. You're a professional athlete. Move on. Unless you still want to be in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't understand why you do that to that young brother. You know, JuJu ain't bothering nobody. Why do you do that? It's just crazy to me. And yeah, I'm going to take this last call, guys. 304. I'm going to come to you in just a moment. For some of you guys that heard the reference that Smitty threw out there, he talked about Kodak Black. Just to bring you guys up to speed, for a lot of you probably know Nipsey Hussle, well-respected MC. You know, I don't call real ones rappers. You know, rapping is something you do. MCs are the real cats. Okay, well-respected, was doing a lot for his community. You know, bought the block in his community, employed people from his community. Had his untimely death last week. Somebody killed him in front of the store he built. And long story short, Kodak Black was caught on video last night talking about his, you know, pretty much his wife, even though I don't think they were officially married, Lauren London. Some of you guys may know her as an actress. You know, she was famously known for Nunu and in the ATL movie, and she's been in other movies, etc., etc. But he's basically saying, in layman's terms, that, you know, she's bad. He would like to be with her. She's about to be a widow. Blah blah blah. Just very disrespectful. I mean, and people that come from where I come from, that's a no-no. You don't talk about. First of all, you ain't supposed to talk about another man's lady like that. Period. You know, when you know the person, but the man in his death, you talking about getting at his shorty, like. Very disrespectful. And again, you know, Kodak is a young cat. Listen, I don't judge people, right? He just made a mistake. He's probably just talking around his boys, but come on, man. All I can say to the young man is have a little more respect than that. Even if you felt that way, have a little more respect. But you know, you made a mistake, whatever. How he handles it going forward will tell me everything I need to know. If he's respectful about it, it is what it is. But if he's playing it to the left, like, yeah, I said it, then I can't rock with him if he's doing that. But anyway, guys, last call of the night, area code 304. You are live. What you got for us tonight?
Hey, I was on here like last week on Terrible Talk Tuesday, but I think with what AB was saying about JuJu, he didn't take into the fact, like, Antonio, whenever he does something wrong, he doesn't need to take accountability is how he feels. But I feel like, and, you know, JuJu, when he fumbled, he literally, like, I don't know, he took accountability, which is something our team lacks. Yeah. But
he
other
did.
Than that, wait, what?
And he even responded that way today. I don't know if you saw any of his response. That was part of his response, too. What was beautiful the way he did it is he responded with what you just said, basically saying, yeah, I did. I take that, I put that blame on me. So he still took the blunt of it, and then after that he addressed Antonio Brown saying, you know, that's messed up. All I've ever done is shown you respect, da 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 da. But even when somebody's coming at him, first thing he replies back with is, yeah, I did. I fumbled. That's on me. I promise it won't happen again. So that just goes to show you the type of guy he is, man.
And I mean, I think it's disrespectful with AV leaving the team and then going back and going after one of his teammates who was one of the, like, younger guys. I mean, it was literally like, I thought they would have some kind of bond built with being the top two receivers, but I mean, I guess AB just has too big of an ego to really make those bonds. And, I mean, he went to Oakland, and, like, he's gone. Just, I don't get why he would comment on it. And I just think that shows that he's guilty about leaving. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's more to it, man. And I definitely appreciate your call, man. I remember your voice from the last week's call, so I appreciate you chiming in and sticking with me on a weekly basis. But I think, like you said, man, it just goes to show that maybe some of what we have heard is true. You know, Antonio Brown always talked about, basically in the interview, he talked about Roethlisberger and him not having that connection. Well, it seems like you ain't have a connection with JuJu. Seems like you didn't take the kid under your wing. And actually, I'm going to find his tweets here, guys, and let me see if I can find what JuJu said. I want you guys, let me see if I can find it. I want you guys to hear what he said. He said, keep your emotions off the internet. Okay, he says, all I ever did was show that man love and respect from the moment I got to the league. I was generously happy for him too when he got traded to Oakland with a big contract. And now he takes shots at me on social media. ? He says, crazy how big that ego got to be to take shots at people who show you love. That is huge. Like, that, to me, that was the dagger. That was the body bag statement right there when he said that. And then, of course, he quotes the famous Mark Twain, and everybody knows this from wherever you're from, however you want to phrase it. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. And y'all know how we say it, in layman's terms. Never argue with fools, because from a distance they can't tell who is who. Very classic, man. Very professionally done. Very mature on JuJu's part, I might say. So there you have it. That's all I got on that, man. So I'm going to get into the chat really quick, guys. I'm going to stay on maybe another 5 minutes. I want to talk about the Seals kid, man. I don't know much about him. Again, when I don't know about a player, I rely on a lot of you guys that seem to scout these guys. I definitely rely on Kenyon. I said Kenyon is like the resident, the expert in player analysis and draft profiles, here for what we do here, man, on the Terrible Towel podcast. And also, the Steeler Report, whatever I'm doing, he's my go-to guy. Listen, I got to do my homework and watch some film on him. I know Dave and Alex from the Steelers Depot talked about him, and they said that Tomlin and Colbert are showing a lot of love with him. They got, a video where Tomlin fist bumps him, at the pro day. And I just want to address something that's blatantly obvious that I have to say. I saw Dave Bryant from Steelers Depot said the same thing. Let's be honest. Some of his criticism, I'm not saying all you guys are doing it, but let's just be honest. We can't deny, I don't want to make this a race thing, but I think you guys are going to feel what I'm saying. We can't deny that race plays a role in people's opinion about players in sports, in positions, okay? Now, most of the time when you're talking about a wide receiver, just so happen, a lot of these guys have been African American or black males, whatever you want to call it. So anytime there's a white receiver, they get this stigma on them. Same thing happened to Christian McCaffrey. He's a white running back, so he had this stigma on him, and you can't deny that. And I don't think that's fair, to be honest, because if you ball, you ball. Some of you guys that that are old enough to remember back in the day, Jason Sehorn, I think he was a corner or a safety. My memory's a little fuzzy, but for the Giants. For the longest time, I didn't know whether he was white or black. I just know the dude could ball. So when I found out he was a white guy, I was like, whoa. You don't usually see that much in the secondary. I was like, yo, that dude can play. I don't care what color he is. Okay? Have you ever heard of Jordy Nelson? Or Thielen? Or Wes Welker? Or Julian Edelman, who just got off in the Super Bowl? I get it. I get it when you look at the history of positions. Like, usually when you're talking about a guard or, this dynamo offensive lineman, a lot of times it ends up being white males, okay? When you talk about the prototypical, and I know this is going to be a controversial statement, but it's the truth. The prototypical NFL quarterback, definitely since Ben Roethlisberger was ushered in, it's been the tall, big, white, like guy who stands in the pocket, deliver that mail. Your Tom Brady's, your Peyton Mannings. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, you get guys like Russell Wilson that comes in that's more athletic. Okay, and can throw when he needs to. Got a cannon on him. Now you get a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But then when Vic came in, he was the athletic quarterback. Your Cam Newtons of the world, big, strong, athletic. So you can't deny that there is a stigma on certain positions when the player is white or black. So I think Seals is getting some unfair criticism because I'm sure it's because he's a white guy and he's a wide receiver. And many people are not viewing him as a beast player at that position. But again, look in recent years, you look at, man, Thielen is a dog. I'd take Adam Thielen any day on my squad. I don't care if he was green. Boy can ball. Shoot, I'd take Julian Edelman. Be honest with you. I used to couldn't stand Edelman just because he always getting up and, talking. You got to talk trash after every play. But I respect it because I played ball. I understand that. And I think, I'm not being funny, but he probably got a little chip on his shoulder because he is an undersized guy. Always chippy. So he used to get on my nerves and because he plays on the Patriots. But I take him. Come on, play over here. Cooper Kupp. I'm just saying. I don't know how good Seals is or isn't. I haven't studied his film. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I am pretty sure without seeing anything, I know that has something to do with the criticism that a lot of people are showing towards that kid. Again, we saw it with Christian McCaffrey. If I'm saying his name right, Christian McCaffrey. We saw it with him. And look at how he turned out. Would you take him on your squad? That's all I'm saying. Shoot, remember Merrill Hodge? I loved Merrill Hodge when he was with us. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying, man. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's see what y'all got. Whoa. NSB Vlogs. Hey, chill. Chill with that type of language, man. Come on, we're not going to allow that. Don't do that. But let's see what you guys got, man. We're going to be in here for about another 5 minutes. Rapid fire. Bring them at me. Y'all said something about Cordell. Zuami Martinez, did I say that correctly? He says it's not because he's white, his routes running is trash. Okay, I wouldn't know. I got to study. Cameron Meadows says, I don't think that it's because they are white. You said, I don't think it's because they are white that they are good. Yeah, listen, that's how I feel. To me, I don't care. Listen, man, I'm not a racial bias type. I don't play them games. You know what I'm saying? I just like people who can play. Period. I never look at that. Now, again, like I said, of course you acknowledge, like, oh, there's certain positions you don't normally see a certain person playing. Those are the facts. As far as a standout, I mean, look at running back. Majority of the running backs that you've ever seen in the NFL have been African American. There's no denying that. The majority of ex-receivers, so that's all I'm saying. Eli says, it's just like saying all white people can do is shoot threes in basketball. The stigma is never going to lead. The league is like 80% black, so it's rare to see a white boy. Don't use that term, man, because some people find that offensive. It's rare to see a white guy at the skill position. Very true. But, man, I love when guys made you chuck them words up. You remember, Dirk, when Dirk came in the game, Dirk was serving people. Manu Ginobili serving, even though he's from Argentina. But, white chocolate, Jason Williams. The list goes on and on of guys who could actually ball. And they didn't just shoot threes, you know what I'm saying? But you're absolutely right. The stigma is always going to be there, man. Stereotypes exist. Let's just keep it real. Captain Spartan says, Sim, did you see Ryan Shazier? He's box jumping now. Also, who you got for the Virginia and Texas Tech. I did see Ryan Shazier, and man, Captain, thanks for reminding me of that. I wanted to say that to you guys on the show, and I totally forgot. For you guys that didn't see it, Ryan Shazier is in the gym box jumping. You know, the boxes that they have in the gym to test your vertical and things like that. The boy jumped up on the box. Incredible. He's making incredible progress. Again, my personal opinion, I don't want to see Shazier play football anymore unless, he's fully cleared and there's not an immediate risk of him be re-injuring himself. I'd rather for him to just stay around the organization like he has been. And listen, man, just be healthy. Okay, health is wealth. See what else you guys got. As far as the national championship, I got to go Virginia, man, just because I'm born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. So I got to go with Virginia, even though they're not my team. I'm a Florida State guy, but still, I'm going to root for. I root and support all Virginia teams, just like now I root and support mostly Pennsylvania teams, you know, because I live in Pennsylvania and have been for a very long time. So got to go with the Cavs on that one. Let's see. Why Diggy says, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about N-Kill Henry in round 2. I got to see some film, but that might be the play. Okay. Carton Carey says, white boy is offensive. Yeah, to some people. I'm just trying to cover all bases. You know, y'all know I'm far from that. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to cover all bases. You never know who's listening. Kenyon says, do you remember Jason Sehorn? Yeah, I talked about Jason Sehorn. Was a bad boy, wasn't it? Was a bad boy. Cornerback and ran a 4.34 at the 6'1". Listen, Jason Sehorn was a monster. Dylan says, a lot of depth at wide out in this draft could snag someone with the early 3rd round pick. I hope so. Luis Davalia says, Ryan Shazier is a great example to all that had been going to similarities or going through similarities. I don't want him to play football again either. Yeah, I don't, man. I just don't want to see that. Whoa. Byron Murphy visited the Steelers today. That's important. Appreciate that, Caleb. That's important, guys. And we'll probably, we'll look at that list again on Turbo Towel Tuesday. That's important. They didn't attend the pro day. Talking about Tomlin and Colbert. They were not at the pro day, if I'm not mistaken. I think Austin was there. However, visits are very important. Pre-draft visits, and a lot of times the number 1 pick comes from a pro day attendance of Colbert or Tomlin. But this could mean, remember, JuJu, they didn't meet with JuJu either at a pro day, and he was a 2nd round pick. So this could mean maybe Murphy, if he's there in the 2nd round, he could be in play. Or it doesn't mean that they won't break their normal rules and draft them in the 1st round, depending on who's available. But that's key that they brought him in for a draft visit. So I love that. I love that because that kid is a playmaker. All right, man. A few more minutes, man. Y'all give me a few more comments here, and then we're gonna get out of here. My wife just texted me and asked me, was I done? And I said, yeah, in a few minutes. So we about to wrap this thing up, guys. Mike White says, I would like to know your opinion. Can Brian Allen, Tevin Jones, and Adams, can they play? Not too familiar with Tevin Jones. Adams, I'm assuming you're talking about Keon Adams. I don't know, man. I got to see him in action. We haven't had the opportunity to really see him play. He is disappointing that he was practice squad again. He was put on the squad once again. He didn't. We thought that he was going to be the guy that might be able to be like another additional pick coming off of the injury because he didn't play his rookie season and he couldn't get off the practice squad last year. Now, as far as Brian Allen, I'm a little concerned about Brian Allen for the same reason. Brian Allen made the roster first year, and then, this past year he was kind of, teetering back and forth between the practice squad and not. And I don't know. I would hope that Brian Allen, I saw him, put a message out saying that he needs to prove himself and he needs to utilize his skills that he may have over others. If he can do it, man, I'm in favor of that. That's a big guy. 6'3", can run. If he can get himself together, no better time than now. obviously the team is not big on Artie Burns anymore. You know, obviously, I mean, you competing with Artie Burns and Cody Sensabaugh. Those are the guys you're really competing with, because obviously Steven Nelson is going to be starting opposite of Joe Hayden. So maybe you can make some noise. There's going to be a very important training camp, I think, for him this year, because I think it's going to be tougher for him to make the roster, especially if the Steelers go, you know, in the direction of a DB in the draft. If they pick one or two defensive backs up as far as corners, Brian Allen could be finding his way out on the sideline, man, off that roster. So we're going to have to see. Russ says he's waiting for the day that she comes down and interrupts the show. Nah, she ain't going to do that. All right, last one, man. Jason Miles. Third round is all Miles. 3A Miles Borkin. Wide receiver. Yeah. And then you said Miles Sanders, the running back for Penn State. Very possible. Very possible. Very, very, very possible, man. Depending on what we do in the first and second. But I think I can't wait to see what happens in day 2. Those picks, man, those 2 picks right back to back like that, man. You got our second round pick, and then you got number 66 in the third, which is the second pick of the third round. That's going to be interesting. I want to know what we're going to do, what move are we going to make. You could be right, because I think they met with the Borkins kid as well. Both of these guys came in for a pre-draft visit, so I can see that happening. Could definitely see that happening. But all right, let me go ahead and get out of here, man. And real talk, Perez. No disrespect, man, but I don't do the sub for sub type thing. That's just me. And not saying I'm too good for that or anything like that. I've never done that because, you know, I always give the advice of people who are, you know, content creators. Listen, I'm not a ginormous channel either. I'm still trying to grow. But I always feel like subscribers, you want people to subscribe because they want to subscribe. You know, of course, like I'm going to end this show, I'm always going to say, hey, if you like what you saw, subscribe. But you don't see, I never go out and go to people's channel and ask to sub. I don't want it like that. You know, I want people to sub because they found my content and they enjoy it. Those are the ones who are going to stick around. So again, no disrespect, but I don't do the sub for sub thing. That's just not my style. But all right, let me get out of here, man, and we'll give you guys a quick rundown. If you haven't already, ironically, I'm going to say it. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you like what you saw. If you didn't, don't. Okay, but if you like what we're doing over here, I'll be happy to have you. Go ahead and subscribe. We'll definitely enjoy that. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. We're sitting at 29 likes right now, and I saw at one time it was 130 people watching. I know we could do better than that. And if you're subscribed or if you become a new subscriber, click on the notifications, hit that little bell so you know when the videos are rolling. And last but not least, again, guys, I'm not asking, but everybody that watches, a lot of people are always giving me feedback, say, hey, man, you got to tell people how to donate. If you guys want to donate, there's 3 ways to do it. There's the $ right there in the live chat. Click on that. Or in the description, there's my Cash App information and there's my PayPal information for you guys that want to donate. And shout outs to Sloth Legacy, man, who did donate earlier. All right, but outside of that, we'll be back on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Terrible Towel Tuesday. If you want to call in, the number's right there on the screen. It's also in the description. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Not sure exactly what we're going to talk about yet on Tuesday, but I'm sure something will pop up. All right, y'all be good. Have a great rest of the night and start your week off right, man. Don't let Monday give you the Monday blues. Start it off with a bang. All right, catch you guys later. God bless. Peace.